G'day guys, welcome to episode 98 of AskJackD. Today I take a question around what is it better to be, a generalist or a specialist? And with some counterintuitive thinking, I outline my advice around who you need to be at each stage of the game, which is of course unique to every individual, but is also unique to the stage of business that you're at.
28 and I'm trying to shape history, pulling from the sky for some strength to take with me, line up the stars, fly away quickly and push the world forward like a tidal wave hit me. I ride the wave swiftly, I fear no man.
G'day guys, welcome to episode 98. We are filming live from Mossman as I'm currently writing the next book, Unwritten. I journaled the other day about, I hope that by calling it Unwritten I didn't destine it to remain that way. It is being written as we speak, so it's exciting stuff. Let's get into today's episode. Rosie, episode 98, what's the question?
Hold up.
Oh, we've got helicopters. Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. Rosie and I sing during, we need to mic up Rosie. Rosie and I often sing throughout Ask Jacks. To which Jack McAvoy, our cameraman, absolutely loves. He's shaking his head in disagreement, as he probably should.
Oh, wait.
All right, how are we going helicopter-wise? We've got helicopters circling. So, let's go, let's just fuck the helicopter.
Okay,
Guys, there's a helicopter. You're going to hear it. Cool? Sweet.
From Oliver Braun from Twitter. What are your thoughts on generalists versus specialists in business and entrepreneurship? Current society seems to favour specialists. Hashtag AskJackD.
Awesome, Oliver Broad from Twitter. What are my thoughts on generalists versus specialists? Oliver's view is that society generally likes to, what's the word? Favour the specialist. So here's the thing, and I actually think this is a big misconception around what it means to be an entrepreneur. To be an entrepreneur is generally, everybody's different, there's so many variables and everybody's unique, right? But to be an entrepreneur generally is to be a generalist, right? Now the exception to that is in the beginning, when we're starting our first business or and we don't have much capital behind us, or we're not able to raise money yet, or whatever the case may be. We go through a period where we kind of need to go deep into each of the different fields, including operations and including the stuff that perhaps a lot of entrepreneurs don't usually go into. So you need to hone your specializations during the early stages of business. However, it should be the aim of every great entrepreneur to build a business that works without them, meaning you need to be able to sit across marketing, sales, delivery, operations, finance, and be able to direct and guide and mentor and coach. However, you want to surround yourself with people who are 500% better than you in that particular specialty. The other thing that I think is a misconception around entrepreneurship, and again, everybody's different. Some people like having their hands on the tools. And that's fine, and that can work, and you can become highly successful doing that. However, in my view, it does limit your breadth to a degree if you want to go deep into every single thing. So if you want to be an entrepreneur with multiple businesses, multiple projects, working on different things and having an element of freedom and not, being sort of tied to a particular office or whatever the case may be, it comes down to knowing that you want to get to a point where you do not have your hands on the tools. Hustle has become such a buzzword lately, we've got to hustle and all that sort of stuff, which is fine. If hustle means hard work, I agree. If hustle means hands-on tools doing the do, I disagree. Because hands-on tools doing the do, you only have 12 to 14 to 18 hours in a day to actually get some work done, right? The one thing that we all have in common with Nelson Mandela or Richard Branson or Oprah Winfrey is the amount of hours we have in the day. So it comes down to who can best work with and through exceptional human beings to ensure that their vision travels. Now, in order to do that, I believe, to the greatest degree, you ultimately need to get to a point where you are a generalist. Here's the other thing. As entrepreneurs, you will ultimately get to a point in your business where you can essentially choose the fields that you want to go deep in. So what's common-ish for founders is we're great with the branding, we're great at understanding the consumer, we're great with the vision, we're great with the DNA of the organization, we're great with strategy to a degree. when it comes to operations, when it comes to finance, when it comes to more detailed strategy, often, not always, the entrepreneur will need assistance in those areas. So the other thing that's quite common with founders is that you get to a point where you have the freedom and the flexibility to ultimately go, what am I great at? What do I love doing? Which are often the same things. And therefore, how do I want to design my role? Do I want to bring in a CEO to this organization? Do I want to bring in a COO to work on the operations? You know, most of us will need to bring in a CFO when we get to a particular size. And then you can kind of design what you want to work on. But again, it's about being a generalist who can oversee the build of businesses. Being an entrepreneur is not about sales, it's not about marketing, it's not about product to market fit, it's not about leadership, it's about all of those things. And in order to lead, which is what entrepreneurship is, it's just leadership. In order to lead people according to what their specialty is, you need to be effectively generalized across each of those fields. So my vote is generalist. However, you will need to have a bit of specialist in the early days.
I've just actualized a wish that I dreamed as a kid. Cause I'm lining